tax return at a SARS branch. The e-filing deadline is still the 31st of October 2018. Well, to tell us more about this, we are joined from our Seapoint Studio by Fareed Khan, who is the Executive Compliance Auditor. Very good morning to you, Fareed, and thank you so much for making the time to come on the show. Now, we know that the deadline for e-filing is looming. How have people responded during this tax filing season? Have you found that more and more people are tax compliant?
Good morning, Pearl. Thank you very much for having me, and good morning to the viewers. Pearl, yes, the South Africans have responded in their numbers to this year's filing season. We've had something like 4.7 million taxpayers who have already filed. And as you said earlier, the deadline is the 31st of August, and those are 31st of October, sorry. And anybody who hasn't filed as yet has a chance to do so. Our contact center is open today until 1 p.m. Sorry, and you can log on to e-filing, and you can use a functionality called Help You e-file that will give you a consultant to hold your hand whilst you complete your return.
Now, the Revenue Services has done a lot of work to just try and get South Africans to comply and to pay their taxes. Seeing as you're saying that the response has been going very, very well, what other tactics do you think SARS needs to keep on doing to ensure that we are tax compliant?
Pearl, SARS has done several things to make it easy for people to comply. Firstly, we have extensive education programs where we support or provide easy access for taxpayers to our branches, to e-filing. We have extended hours, for example, in our branches, where people can even go in today on a Saturday to submit their returns. So yes, SARS has had several initiatives to assist taxpayers, but we just would like to warn taxpayers that despite these efforts, if they fail to comply, there are unfortunately consequences. Penalties are applicable from the 1st of November if you haven't complied. But penalties are a last resort. We don't resort to penalties easily. We encourage taxpayers to rather comply voluntarily.
And Fareed, some people may have experienced some issues with trying to file their returns this year. If people need further assistance, where can they go to? What numbers can they phone? I know that hours have been extended today, as you stated, that people can still walk into a branch at 1 p.m. or get in touch with the contact center. Are those facilities well equipped to assist people with whatever issues that they may experience?
Pearl, SARS has an extensive network of branch offices all over the country, and as you've indicated, we have a very well-equipped contact center, 3 contact centers around the country, in fact, where we have very well-trained consultants to assist. Our contact centers work normal business hours, but during this filing season we've extended the business hours. Like I said, we are even available today until 1 p.m. In addition to that, we have e-filing. E-filing is an amazing, simple tool that the taxpayers can use, and during office hours we also have a functionality on e-filing called Help You File. What Help You File does, Pearl, is that it gives you access to a consultant to hold your hand whilst you're submitting these returns. And in addition to that, over the years, SARS has worked very hard to ensure that the tax returns become simpler and self-explanatory, and we have explanatory notes as well that pop up in certain areas on e-filing. So SARS has gone the extra mile to make taxes as easy as possible and take away the sweat from tax compliance.
And now, Fareed, some people may have had just grievances with regards to the payout of tax returns. Just explain to us very briefly how that works, because I tend to find that people automatically expect a payout just purely based on the fact that they are tax compliant.
Yes, Pearl, SARS has made a commitment to personal income taxpayers that we will pay out your refund. If you are due a refund, we will pay it out to you within 21 days of you becoming compliant. Now, many taxpayers assume that submitting a return means that they are compliant. Often, SARS requests additional supporting documentation to prove the declarations that they've made. It is only once you've submitted these requested documents that you are compliant. And within 21 days of submitting those documents, we have committed, and we have, in most instances, 95% I would say, we've complied with that commitment that we've made.
And when will we get the final results?
To come back to your sorry, Pearl, just please repeat that.
I just wanted to know, when will we get the final results of the number of people that have complied and how much the Revenue Services has managed to collect from taxpayers?
Well, the final results, by the end of October, we will tell you how many people have complied as at that date. But as we know, some people do miss the deadline. And we receive returns every day, even beyond the close of the filing season. Unfortunately, the people that are late would be subject to a penalty, and therefore we are suggesting or advising taxpayers, please submit before the 31st of October. You can do this 24/7 on eFiling, and just avoid the penalties.
All right, fantastic. Fareed Khan, thank you very, very much for your time, just speaking to us about the deadline for you to file your tax returns. Of course, that deadline for e-filing is the 31st of October, but SARS branches are open till 1 p.m. today, so you can certainly walk in there and make sure that you are tax compliant. It is time for us to take a quick break. Do stay with us here on Morning Live.